we're speaking now with Ash Upadhyaya with KKR. He's in charge of energy investment in the Asia Pacific region. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking at in Asia and where the opportunities are.
If you take a step back, you see Asia historically has been one of the largest consumers of energy, and the growth in that consumption of energy is steep as there is more urbanization and growth in the region. What's interesting is you see a lot of countries in this region who were net energy exporters because of this growth have become energy importers. And so as we as a firm think about energy in this part of the world, we think about energy across the value chain, which starts with production at the wellhead, whether it's oil or gas, and ends with how it's consumed, whether it's a power socket in your house or LNG pipelines, etc., in between. So we view ourselves as energy experts or probably specialists who understand this value chain. And when we try to play across this value chain, we try not to be selective in a particular segment of it. Clearly, we try to focus on areas which are more actionable and more desirable going ahead.
And how is the current pricing climate in the oil sector affecting your strategy or affecting where you're investing right now?
Look, the honest answer is, as investors, we try not to play cycles. It's a very dangerous game because, look, people have been caught on the right and wrong sides of the cycle everywhere. What we try to do is focus on fundamentals. What is the need? What is the demand? And how can we be helpful over there in a risk-adjusted basis? We can't comment on where oil prices are going or where they have been. I mean, where everybody knows where they've been. But what we try to see is, when you balance fundamentals, what fundamentals support versus what you can do in terms of providing a solution, we try to find that investment which fits that. So with respect to where oil prices are today, possibly still early. It's a very fluid situation. Important to remember this time it's supply driven, not demand driven. Supply driven cycles, as history has shown us, take time to work out. So we are cautiously optimistic and looking for opportunities in this environment.
Are there specific regions in Asia that are more ripe for opportunity than others, or is it just the region as a whole that you treat as one area?
We treat the region as a whole as one area because it's really hard to dissect and say country A is more appealing than country B, because then when you look at the specifics of a deal in country B could be more appealing than country A. So we try to be location agnostic. Again, what we try to focus on, I'd say the two things which we like to focus on most importantly is the asset, which is fundamentally the rocks, in case we're looking at oil and gas, and the partners, which is either the team which we're backing or the people we're getting into business with. Those are the two most important screening criteria for us.
Even though you're focused on Asia, you have to keep your eyes and ears on what's going on in the rest of the world. One of the things that we've been looking at a lot is U.S. shale oil and shale gas. What are you seeing happening there, and what is the impact on what's going on there to this region?
Clearly, with the collapse in oil prices, what you have seen is a reduction in capital spend in the U.S. shale plays. But I think the one thing you can be assured is that is a very dynamic capitalistic industry, and they will figure out ways to make things work. I mean, if you take a step back and think about it, back in 2007, the shale boom was not even there at the scale at which it is there, and we built such a huge industry out of it in 5 years. Today the industry is challenged, but the beautiful thing about that industry is because it's driven by several strong entrepreneurs and a very entrepreneurial spirit, they find ways to cut costs. So at the end of the day, it's not just focusing on price, it's all about the margin. And so I'm pretty confident that the industry will figure out ways to adapt in this current price environment and still continue. Clearly, more marginal plays will continue to be challenged, but the core of the shale plays, whether it's oil or gas, continue to hum and will continue to hum. They just have to adapt the cost structure associated with production and the way they capitalize the business with respect to funding the growth. But the business is I don't see that business coming to a grinding halt at all.
And do you expect that to have much impact on oil prices here or oil production here? Is there any connection at all between what's going on there and what might happen here?
Well, inevitably it will be, but oil is such a complex commodity with so many variables that it's really hard to say this is the cause and that's going to be the effect. I mean, just look at the facts. I mean, the U.S. does contribute reasonably to global oil production. It'll continue to contribute reasonably to the global oil production, or whether it becomes the marginal player, the swing player, etc. There's way too many variables to try to comment on that. And candidly, if I could comment on that, I'd be sitting on a beach trading in futures as opposed to trying to find good teams and good partners to get into business with.
Speaking of that, this is a big networking event. So are you finding partners? Are you finding people that you want to talk to here?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've even before I moved to the region, and I was at the Oil Council last year in Hong Kong because I was based out of New York. And like I found this, of all the events which I've been to in the region, I find the Oil Council to be a spectacular event because it's a great place where you get to meet the entrepreneurs, the financiers, decision makers, NOCs, IOCs. So it's a great. It does feel a little bit like almost a community. And what I've noticed is even between last year and this year, the level of involvement and sense of community has become better. For someone like me who's been here for only 6 months, having been to 2 oil councils, I feel like I've already met most of the people I'd like to meet. So it's definitely a terrific networking event.
So what are you looking forward to in the year ahead? Last year was a pretty tough year. What are you looking forward to in 2015?
If I told you what I'm looking forward to in 2015, all my competitors would be doing that, and I'd be in trouble. So.
Well, I had to try.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know you're really busy here. You're meeting with a lot of people. So thanks so much for coming in and spending a few minutes with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Getting a little insight today from Upadhyaya at KKR.